we have the perfect person to discuss this. Robert Gucci is a senior lecturer at Lancaster University in the UK and also author of the book, The Trump Presidency, Journalism and Democracy, and he is here with us now. What do you make of From the Desk of Donald Trump, his new communications platform?
Well, ironically, as he's trying to get away from the control of the tech companies, he so desperately needs them. I mean, it's a blog spot sort of scrolling web page that is simply him just professing his thoughts, and it doesn't encourage user interaction. It doesn't really call for sharing. It's something that's really in desperate need of technological infrastructure, which is quite ironic here. I don't know if that's a message he's trying to send, but if it's something that's going to be picked up by large swaths of people, I'm not quite sure that they're going to find it very user friendly.
But Robert, you still can tweet. I just tweeted before I came on the show. So what does this mean? Because he's still kind of, well, back on Twitter.
Well, kind of, right? And he's relying upon the graces of others to spread those messages. But the actual platform that he has, just quite frankly, isn't very impressive and doesn't create a lot of discourse on that site. It pushes it back off onto mainstream social media sites where everybody else is. But and again, yes, this video that you're seeing right now is a very strange, high-tech, low-tech sort of production. It's not what we expected, I think, when he said he was going to launch his own social media platform. Again, this is a blog from the 1990s, early 2000s, where, yes, people can go on and spread that. And I think he's hoping that Facebook is going to overturn his ban. And, this could just be another one of his ways of sticking it to him a bit.
I do want to talk about the Facebook ruling, but, this might not be it. Then this might be a prelude to something bigger. That's what Trump senior advisor Jason Miller said. This was not the social media platform that Trump plans to launch. So what do you make of that?
I think, Donald Trump is an interesting character, and the people around him are interesting characters that benefit from being in the limelight and getting free advertisement by media and by stoking the fires. There's certainly something to be said about putting things out there, short term. But he also had talked about creating a TV station, and that may come, a cable station that may come, but I think that if this is an initial launch of anything, it's still, from a technological perspective, is quite loose. It certainly is about branding, though. It certainly moves you to purchase apparel. It moves to the Donald Trump part of politics, but calling for people to engage, calling for people to be social, even though those tabs are there where you can tweet, those things that social media is known for seem to be missing.
All right. Now, the other big news, Facebook's oversight board, they're expecting to make their announcement later today. What do you think they'll say?
Well, I speculate, take a risk here. I think they're going to overturn it. I think, there were so many posts that Donald Trump could have been banned for over his years. For Facebook to come out and say we're doing a public good by blocking this guy just because of these particular ones that might have led, or I think investigation showed did lead to violence. I mean, there were dozens, if not hundreds, of those that could have been used before. And I think that committee, which is quite interesting, made up of academics and lawyers and social citizens across the world, I think they have something really interesting in front of them here, because they're making decisions not just about Donald Trump, but about the role of public officials on corporately owned platforms. And those are different things. Donald Trump wasn't just a citizen, he was a public official. And there's this mix that's going on here as mainstream media is kind of pulling away and newspapers are going away, that social media is the place where public officials interact with the citizenry. And so their decision is going to be quite powerful, I think.
And so Twitter has permanently banned him. Do you see that changing at all?
I don't think so. I think Twitter, has made it very clear, and there doesn't seem to have been any discussion or movement recently. Certainly, they're not calling for a board's decision on anything. This was something that they were steadfast with, and so I think we also have to ask why Facebook is even considering this. If these comments themselves were egregious, wouldn't an investigation show that thousands more were egregious, talking about people coming across the southern border into the United States, his conversations and discussions online about African Americans and U.S. blacks and violence and all sorts of really ridiculous things. So if they overturn their decision and he comes back on, I think, Twitter probably is going to dig their heels in. But we're going to see for politicians in the United States in particular, a lot of pushback if Donald Trump gets back onto social media. He'll have to stay between the lines. And if he does, he could be a real problem for people who are trying to move past Trump and into something else.
Thank you so much. Always great to speak to you. Robert Gucci, live there from Lancaster University in the UK.